What's up, y'all? Welcome to another successful Sundays. Happy January 11th. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let me just push this back so you can see me a bit better. How y'all doing today? Happy Sunday. Boom. Let me not get that jiggly. There we go. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Successful Sundays. I'm, of course, Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach, the dopest life coach out there. And today we're talking about mental diet. But before we get into the mental diet topic, let's just clear out the energy for the week we have ahead. We're going to inhale through our nose 3 times and exhale out 3 times. Just inhale. We're going to do this 3 times. I think I just confused you. I apologize. We're going to inhale through our nose and exhale out. We're going to do that 3 times. All right. So inhale through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. Again, inhale through your nose, sigh it out through your mouth. Now, when you think about any energy that was weighing heavy on you, any bad vibes you had last week, anything that you felt like was just holding and having and heavy on your shoulders, we're going to inhale all the good energy in, and we're going to recycle all that negative mindset out. Clear mindset for the week ahead. So first things first, now that we've cleared all of that, welcome. I want to start off with 2 things. Number one, I want to start with the affirmation that I picked this morning. Shout out to Intelligent Change for these cards. I bought these a while back, and these are amazing. The affirmation I picked out for today is I let go of everything and everyone that doesn't serve me in a positive way. Let me repeat that one more time. I let go of everything and everyone that doesn't serve me in a positive way. Maybe that's an affirmation you need to hold, not just for this week moving forward, that those who are not serving you in a positive way, we're going to let go. We're just going to have to just keep it pushing and moving on there. So anything or anyone that doesn't serve me in a positive way, we're just keeping a distance. Love that one. I'm just going to put that right there. Shout out to Intelligent Change. No paid promotion. I'm just saying. But if they want to hook me up, by all means. Another thing is a book that I'm reading this month, rereading actually, is another non-paid promotion. The Mountain is You. Such a great read. I'm rereading it for the second time. I often say that even if you read something the first time, it's like the Bible, right? You read it the first time, where you are in your mindset is completely different if you read it the second, the third, the fourth. So I kind of stopped buying a lot of self improvement books because right now I want to just spend the next few years rereading them because I understand that as I evolve, the words on the pages are going to mean different to me every time that I read it. So excuse me. So this month I'm reading this lovely book again by Brienne West. The Mountain is You. And let me tell you, it's hitting in ways you could tell I've been through it because this book has been through some stuff. It's seen better days, but it just means that I'm reading it. All right. So today we're going to be talking about mental diet and the, the importance of what a mental diet really is. It's I want you to think about it the food like a food that you digest, or it's just like the things that we mentally digest in our head. Oftentimes we don't think about it. You don't think about the importance of our environment, the things that we watch, the things that we hear, and how it can have an effect on our mood and our day. So I'm going to be breaking it down and how you can start evaluating and auditing your own mental diet. So I have a couple notes because you know me, I always have notes for stuff. So I want you to think about, let's say, like a food that you like. We all know in the kitchen is your pharmacy. This is your pharmacy right here. The food that you put into your body, it nourishes you. Or it may just be, let's say, sometimes you have like a cheeseburger. It's just beer junk food. It depends, right? So some things will nourish you, some things can poison you, right? And some things feel good in the moment but create inflammation later on, right? It may be great, give you that sense of dopamine, and after a while, it can cause more damage than good later on, right? It's the same thing for your mental diet. What we put in is what we get out. It's the same thing. Whatever we put into our body, in terms to our mind, can affect our manifestation, our visualization, the goals we're working on, um, the discipline, our consistency. These things can it can be affected depending on what we are watching, hearing, seeing, environments, all of it. So I want you to take a minute, and if you have a thought process of what your mental diet looks like right now, like what do you think you're watching? What do you think you're listening to, and how it affects you? We're gonna break it down. So, like I said, some things I gotta shift this over. Hold up. Some things nourish you, some things poison you, some things feel good in the moment, right? Just because that it feels good in the moment doesn't mean that it's not going to affect your mental diet. The things that we watch, I want you to think about your algorithm on any application that you have, right? I want you to think about any algorithm that you got. There's some parts of the algorithm that is emotionally charging you. Every time that you like a video and you watch it, what do? They feed you more with it. Every time that you engage with it in any way, shape, or form. Half the times they say these apps, they notice when you're watching a certain thing for like within the first 10 seconds, they start feeding you more with it. Now, let's say for example you're going through a breakup and you see somebody post a video about a breakup. You're gonna like it because you could relate to it. But the problem is, it could keep you in that same circle and not get you out moving forward to healing. Why that is because it's going to keep feeding you breakup content because you interacted with one video. So your mental diet is the same thing in terms of your life. Everything that you watch, everything you listen to, everything the environment that you are in, it plays a part into it. We often don't think about it because it's like we're enjoying it. It's relatable to us, so we don't really actually take an actual look into it. I'll give you an example. I noticed that when I listen to when I listen to like crunk music and really like certain types of hip hop, and I used to go to work and listen to this, I was angry. Like I was angry. So and I noticed it. I peeped it. But then when I was leaving or I'm on my way home, if I listened to music that was like I would always listen to like soothing music, R&B, soul. I was in a good mood. So what I did was I kind of added that playlist to when I was going to work. My mood changed, and the reason why my mood changed is because my mental diet was changing. Even the books we read, I mentioned The Mountain Is You, right? These type of books will like they enhance like how you think. They enhance how your mental diet functions. And I'm using the algorithm in terms of like applications the same thing as life. They're the same thing. What you constantly feed into your own algorithm of life is what you were constantly fed back. And if you actually start blocking or saying no longer interested, which is like a boundary you could set in real life, you'll notice things are shifting. Like I always look when I'm scrolling on any app and I notice something, I'm like, I ain't watching this. This is trash. I hit not interested. So I never want to see that crap again. It's the same way you do that. It's the same way you should do that in your life. It's the same thing. But we often sometimes don't think about the things that are nourishing us, the things that could be poisoning us, and things that just make us feel good in the moment, right? Like the junk food that just makes us feel there's nothing wrong with junk food, just saying. But the junk food that makes us feel really good in the moment. So let's if we focus, I'm just going to shift this over. If we focus on the things that manifest, the things that we visualize, the things that we pray for, the goals, the discipline, the consistency. This is if you're feeding your mind that, what are you feeding your minds? You get paid back tenfold. It's really, honestly, it's really that simple. It's literally the laws of the attraction. What we feed into our life is what we get back in return. Look at your life in a sense of your mental diet, in a sense of like a bank. What you put in is what you'll get back in return. Your dividends is what you'll get back in return. The interest is what you'll get back in return. You got what I would suggest you do. Ooh, now I got scratched off. Is focus on the things that nourish you more. If even in the midst of how life is always lifing, I always say life is always like people are always people. There's nothing we could do about it. But if you focus on the things that are actually nourishing you more, you'll see how it affects your life in the end. But if you focus on the things that poison you, what do you think you're going to get? The negativity, the heartbreak, the upset, because you're constantly putting emphasis on that. But if you start putting emphasis on the stuff that nourishes you, your mental diet will start reflecting that. That's why I'm using the algorithm aspect of it because we use, I mean, like, if you think about it, if you're ever scrolling and you like one thing, it keeps feeding you it and feeding you it and feeding you it. But you actually have an option to block. And I use this as in real life. You have an option to block, you have an option to create boundaries, and you have an option to hit not interested. So it's the same thing. So hit not interested on the stuff that poison you. Hit not interested on the stuff that make, okay, feel good in the moment sometimes. Life is life. But start hitting not interested sometimes on the stuff that just feels good. Because by just doing the in the moment dopamine, you're going like you're going against what you're manifesting, what you're realizing, what you're praying for, your goals, your discipline, your consistency. These things are the stuff that we're constantly aiming for in life, and everyone talks about them, but they're not willing to actually make the sacrifice of this, the feel good in the moment. It may feel good in the moment, but is it going to actually feel good in the long run? It's all about being, when it comes to your mental diet, it's all about the long game, not just the short game. The long game is where it's at. And what we can pause on, what we can replay, what commitment, sorry, what we comment on, what we emotionally react to, all these things play so heavy into that. Play so heavy into how our mental diet is. And it actually affects how how we, sorry, I do have a cold that I'm getting over. It actually affects on how our life turns out in the long run, how we see it, how we feel. Everything in your life right now, you may think that it's just life happening to you. Honestly, it started here. It all starts here. There's things in your life right now that you probably haven't even recognized that you have been thinking about for the longest time, and you have it. And it's okay to sit in the moment and say, dang, I actually did that. So imagine if you did it from just a thought, you did one thing from just a thought. Imagine if you were to do it from intention. Imagine if you were to do it from just intention, right? So give yourself the opportunity to audit your mental diet. And I'm going to break it down on how you can do it. I'm just taking this stuff off. So before we get into that, I'm just gonna scoop, scoop, scoop. A poor mental diet can cost you a whole lot. It could cost you a lot. It could cost you the things that you're manifesting, visualizing, praying, goals, and trying to remain consistent, disciplined with. It could also bring on anxiety, burnout, feeling stuck, triggers, constantly blocking up. Let me move over here. Blocks your manifestation blessings and your doors that are meant for you to open. It could block these things if you have a poor mental diet. So let's waste no time. I'm going to get into how you can audit and break it down. No, some of it got erased. Don't worry. I'll repeat it. So first things first. And if you have a piece of paper, maybe you want to write this down. If not, save this, come back, and you can do the audit yourself when you have a chance. Awareness. Let's start off with awareness. Start getting to know what your mental diet is. And I ain't going to lie to you, because social media is so amazing. One of the best ways that you could do it, because it's literally a computer of who you are in an odd way, and it tracks your routine in an odd way. Start looking at what some of the content that you're actually constantly liking and constantly watching. It will tell you. If you just actually intentionally look at the things you're watching, it will let you know what your mental diet looks like. Start evaluating what you're watching on TV, what kind of music you're listening to. Start looking at those things. So become more aware of what it is that you're actually in tune with more and more. And start thinking about, how do you feel after you watch these things? The emotional effect check. Start feeling, how do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Do you feel low? Do you feel high? Do you feel happy? Do you feel inspired? Right? Are you comparing? That's another one a lot of us do, the comparison. And then you want to start identifying your algorithmic map. What draws you to constantly do these things, watch these shows, read these books? What's happening in your life that brings that on? What are the moments that you're having? Because there's something that's probably triggering you and draws you to those moments. Now, I've done this before. Number four, it's future alignment. I'm going to switch to green. It's future alignment. What does it say about your future self? What, maybe there's something that maybe you've had the conversation with your future self, or you know for an idea, you have an idea of what your future self needs. Does it align with that? Is it what you're doing in your life? Does it align with your future self? And if it isn't, how can you create curate instead of sorry curate instead of completely cutting out. So what I mean by that is, instead of just cutting out, because all the times you say, okay, yeah, just cut that off, cancel it, you don't need it anymore. It takes steps, because these are habits that you've probably been doing for a long time. These are things that have been in your mental diet for a very long time. So now you have to replace it. If you remember at the beginning, I talked about when I used to listen to hip hop on my way to work, I would get to work and be very angry. So I switched it to more softer music like soul and R&B and reggae. And from doing that, I felt like I was going to work in less of an anger state and more of like a chill state. So, how can you replace it with something else? Right? Think about that. Daily mental boundaries. What kind of boundaries can you set for your mental diet? What kind of boundaries can you set? And then also check in. You know, I love a good check in. Check in every now and then. What's working, what's not working, what things that I need to get rid of, or what maybe some stuff you need to replace, like curate something instead. Ultimately, your mental diet says a lot about you, but your mental diet is so important because of the fact that it can help curate the life that you want to have. And with the things that we watch, like we started at the beginning with an affirmation, this gets part of your mental diet. I mentioned a book that I'm reading. This is part of your mental diet. You even just watching me right now, taking time out of your day, that's part of your mental diet, right? You could be watching something that's just about beer gossip right now. Ask yourself, when you have those moments and you know what it is, you're aware of what is in your mental diet. Ask yourself, yo, how do I feel afterwards? Do I feel lousy or do I feel good? Sorry. So I want to go back to something super quick, because this is important. Sometimes we don't think our mental diet is showing up in other aspects of our lives, but it is. What kind of sparked this topic was I'm a big believer in mental diets, and like what we how our environments are could say a lot about ourselves, but it could also be damaging or it could be uplifting. It's all depends on how you see it. So funny enough, the night that I said I was going to do this for today, there was like a little, I have like this daily scripture thing that I read, and it talked about it. And in the scripture, in like the blurb, it just kind of said about this young lady who grew up in a household, and, God fearing parents, stuff like that, and had a tough time with fidelity and staying faithful to her husband at the time. She's like, I don't understand how this is happening, and blah blah blah. And the title of it was be careful of what you watch. And I was like, yo, it's true. 'Cause funny enough, I'm having this conversation about with myself about what I wanted to do. The mental diet aspect came in. So my point to this is, be careful of what you are surrounding yourself with, what your mental diet looks like. Be careful of what you're reading, what you're engaging in, what you are listening to, what you are watching, all of it. Be more careful, be more mindful of it. There's some parts of it that is not going to align with where it is that you're trying to go. Where is it? Your future self. It's not going to align with that. So start being more aware of what your mental diet actually looks like. And the most easiest way to look at that is, how do you feel the after effect check? How do you feel after doing X? Like if I read this book, if I read this affirmation, I feel good. But maybe if I am in a position where I'm trying to compare my self worth to somebody randomly online, I may not feel so good. So now maybe I'm not in a position to watch that stuff. So click not interested, even in your real life. And maybe you just need to just take a step back, focusing and honing on yourself. Not interested. Maybe that's a boundary that you need to set, one of your daily boundaries that you need to set. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. So I challenge you for the week, sorry, to just do an audit of your own mental diet. And if you want, like, put in the chat if you want me to kind of like type this out in the description or in the comments as well, because I could do that. Not a big deal. Let me know, just to kind of break down the audit so that you could do it. I probably will anyways, but still, Put it in the chat if you would like me to do so that you could do your own mental diet audit just to see where you're at. The biggest, for me, the most influential part of this audit, well, there's two parts, is the after effect. How do I feel afterwards? Do I feel lousy? Do I feel motivated? Do I feel inspired? Or do I feel heavy? And do I feel like I'm not happy? That is the most biggest one. And then obviously, well, there's three. I would say the boundaries and the check-in, which all work in. Just checking in with yourself of how you feel, because that kind of works with the after effect. So think about the things that the pieces of your life that comes with your mental diet, the things that will nourish you, not poison you, and not always feel good in the moment. I'm human, so I understand. But focus more on the things that nourish you, the things that uplift you, the things that make you feel good. Like life is always going to be lifing. We see that. But at the end of the day, we control the things that make us feel good in our life. And the things like that are the things that nourishes us. So I challenge you with, doing your own audit, your own mental diet audit, and just check in with yourself to see maybe there's some parts and some habits that you're like, this ain't gonna go no further. This stays right here. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's live about mental diet. I'm gonna leave the the uh the audit in the comments in a few minutes. I'll put that in there for you guys. So you just kind of like check in with yourself in terms of like your life. What are some stuff I know that I've been it's not indulging, but I've been incorporating in my life for the last, let's say, 6 months, a year, whatever, and that it doesn't suit where I'm trying to go moving forward, and I need to let it go because my mental diet needs to be more healthier. I I will see you guys on Tuesday. A new episode of the Dope Life podcast will be dropping. And again, I hope you enjoyed today's live. If you have any questions, I'm always here to help you out. And y'all know what to do. Walk with peace. Walk with love.